Hi guys, this is Chantal and today we are going to make gluten-free banana bread. I'm not going to show you myself today because my baby was sick for the past 2 days and I'm just exhausted. I didn't get any sleep really for the past 2 days. So you're just seeing my hands today. Okay, so to start we are going to need 3 bananas. So in the bowl I'm going to put 3 bananas. Preferably ripe bananas. My bananas are not as ripe as I would like them to be, but I really wanted to film this recipe for you guys, so oh well. The more ripe the bananas are, the better flavor you will get for your banana bread. There we go. And now I'm going to smush the bananas. You could use either a potato masher or a fork. Either way, both would work. This is just a little faster, I think. And you want to smush them until they are super smooth. So you can give this job to one of your children if you have any. Okay, so this looks pretty good to me. This looks pretty good to me. I'm gonna stop right here. I could keep going really for days, but I'm gonna stop right here. And now to this we are going to add the sugar and vanilla extract and apple cider vinegar. I'm going to take my measuring scale and I'm going to put the bowl on it, and I'm going to press the on button, and it thinks that's pretty heavy for it, so I'm gonna turn it on first and then put this back on, tear it, and now I can measure. For the sugar, 144 grams of sugar, brown sugar. I like to use brown sugar because that's going to give you a nice flavor because of the molasses that are in the sugar. That is in the sugar, not hard. I also need a tablespoon of vanilla extract. That's 17 grams or 16 grams. Oops. And a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. And that's going to be 5 grams. Now take it off here for a second. And I'm just going to mix it up a little so it's smooth. You might think it's weird to add apple cider vinegar into the banana bread recipe, but apple cider vinegar is going to react with the base ingredients and is going to, and the baking soda that we will be adding is going to help the bread to rise. It's also going to give you a better flavor and a better color and a better texture to the bread overall. Okay, so now I'm going to add the egg. I've had this egg sitting in lukewarm water just to get it to temperature, to room temperature. You want to work with room temperature ingredients to get the best rise for your bread. And mix it up. And also to get the best texture as well. Okay, so now, I should have done this step a little bit earlier, and which is melting the butter. So we are going to measure some butter and we are going to melt it. Oops. So we need 76 grams of butter, and now we are going to melt this. If you want the measurements in cups and spoons, you can head over to Peaceful Living NH, and I will have the measurements for you in those terms, in cups and in volume, basically. While the butter is melting, we are going to measure the dry ingredients. They're a small bowl. This should work, hopefully. Right here I have 212 grams of Chantal's all-purpose gluten-free flour blend. You can find this recipe on peacefullivinginh.com, and I will be also leaving the link for it down in the description box below. 11 grams of baking powder and 1 gram of baking soda, 4 grams of xanthan gum, and 3 grams of salt. Okay, and now we are going to whisk these ingredients together so that they're well combined. And I like to do this for everything that I'm baking, just to make sure that all the ingredients are distributed equally amongst the batter. And now we are going to take our dry ingredients and add them to our wet ingredients. You could use either one. I'm just going to stick with this for now. By either one, I mean either the whisk or this potato masher. I might have to switch to the whisk. Just make sure to get all that flour on the side, and that's probably why I'm going to end up switching to the whisk. So, give it a good mix, and it's pretty much done. Okay, so now I'm going to use this loaf pan, and I really like this loaf pan so far. I will leave the link for it down in the description box below if you guys are interested in getting it. I'm going to spray some baking spray onto the loaf pan to prevent the bread from sticking. You could also use parchment paper if you want. Right now, I currently don't have any, so we're just going to stick with the baking spray. And now I'm going to take this batter and transfer it into the loaf pan. And I forgot to mention, my oven has been preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. This recipe is so simple and so easy to make. And this banana bread is just super moist and super delicious. I can hardly keep my children from eating it. They could just eat it in one sitting. So now we are going to take the spatula and just bounce it up and down on the surface of the batter. This is going to flatten the batter out, as you can see. I'm just going to take my fingers, scrape off any excess batter off the spatula. Make sure to have clean hands. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now we are going to take this baby right here and we're going to put it on the center rack of a 350 degrees Fahrenheit oven, preheated oven, and we are going to bake it for 50 to 60 minutes depending on how hot your oven gets. You want to check it around the 50-minute mark, and you're going to put a toothpick in there and see if you have some crumbs left on the toothpick. That means the bread is ready. You don't want to have like a gummy texture, but if you have a few crumbs on the bread, that means it's ready. This bread takes 50 minutes in my oven. Might be a little bit different in your oven. So I'm going to put this in the oven and bake it for 50 minutes. Okay, I got busy talking and I forgot one very important ingredient, the butter. And I put this batter in here. Now I'm going to transfer it back and I'm going to give this a quick wipe and spray it again, and we're going to mix the butter in here. We were supposed to mix the butter in with bananas and the sugar and all that stuff after it has melted, but we're going to mix it now. So yeah, this happens. Oops. I'm just going to give the pan a quick spray. Oops. Again, I'm spraying my tripod. Okay, and I'm going to try to beat this as I drop the butter here without burning myself. So if you guys did this mistake, you too can fix this, just like I am. Oh man. Okay, I'll just quickly mix it. And I even forgot about the butter and it got a little bit too hot. Hopefully it should be okay. Okay, I'm going to add the rest of the butter now. Okay, I think this is good enough. Now I can transfer it into the pan. No big deal. Hopefully it's not going to affect the texture. We'll see what happens. Can you guys tell that I'm so tired? Okay, now I'm going to take this and put it into the oven for 50 minutes. And look at this. This is amazing. It is just outstanding, and you can tell that you can see how using room temperature ingredients gives you super puffed up bread, gluten-free banana bread. This is just amazing. So let me show you here my toothpick, and don't mind these, they're dirty because I pick too much. Let's set them aside. Here's my toothpick. Can you guys see the crumbs? Let's try again. You guys see the crumbs? You can see it still has a little bit of crumbs on it. It is not like a mush. Oh, this is so difficult. Okay, there we go. It's not a mush. It's just crumbs. Here, poke it again. Whoop. There we go. It's so hard to see and figure out where to put this thing. There we go. Can you guys see? This is amazing. Anyway, so we're gonna let this bread cool in the pan for 5 minutes, and then we are going to transfer it onto a wire rack, not rake, onto a cooling rack. Meanwhile, I want to show you this banana bread that I baked a couple days ago, and I had it on room temperature, sitting at room temperature, and this is all that's left from it. My kids have been begging me to eat it, but I asked them to kindly keep it for me so that I could show you, because I don't want to cut into the bread while it's still hot. That's not going to be good. We need to keep that moisture in. We need to trap it, and for us to have a nice moist banana bread, we need that moisture in there, and let it evaporate slowly, not quickly. But you can see, even though, whoop, oh, there we go. You can see, even though I did not use room temperature eggs, I still got a really nice texture on the bread, and I also it's super moist. I followed the same procedures, but I did not get the eggs at room temperature just because I was in a hurry. You can see how the bread is not as high as this bread. Yes, this is at the end of the bread, but last time I baked it, it did not inflate as much as this one did. And you can see the crumb of this bread, how amazing it is. It's still super moist, and it's soft and delicious. Oh, it's just amazing. So once this again cools down, I'm going to be transferring it onto a cooling rack. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something new. For more recipes like this, please head on over to Peaceful Living NH, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will be leaving the link for this recipe down in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!